Yo guys, hello and welcome back to the channel. You join us here for the second race of the season out in China, also the first sprint race of the F1 26 season. Now before we begin guys, if you did miss the first episode out in Australia, I will leave a link on the screen. Please check that out before you receive any spoilers. And also while you're at it, if you're enjoying the F1 26 DLC as much as I am, then why not leave a like or subscribe? And also, if you can leave a comment with some feedback and anything you'd want to see on the channel, would be greatly appreciated. Now let's get into it. So now you have gone back and watched the Australian Grand Prix. You'll see that in our first race for Aston Martin, we did manage to pick up 10th place and one valuable championship point for the team in the first race of the season. Absolutely amazing start from us. Now, I'm not holding out much hope for the second round of the season, as the Chinese Grand Prix is definitely probably my worst track on the calendar. But anyway, we're going to give it our best go. Now, you can see on screen, I'm just applying the first few upgrades onto the car for the season. They will arrive just after the Japanese Grand Prix, and I have just sped it up a little bit because this episode is already going to be a pretty long one. But yeah, we need to improve this car pretty quickly. Now anyway, enough waffling from me. Let's get into sprint qualifying.
It's a sprint weekend here at the track, and before we can go racing, we need to go qualifying. Who will be on pole for the sprint to come? We're about to find out.
Now you join us on the first run in SQ1. We sim to the end of the session because realistically we're only going to do one lap really in this session, but as we're making our way through the second sector, we get a horrible snap from the rear and that just ruins our lap. So we back out and we're going to go for another one. Now we've let the tyres cool down, we've regained the battery, and we're going to go for our one and only lap here in SQ1. Now, like I said before, this track is definitely not one of my favourites. I mean, other than Madrid, where I've literally done 5 to 10 laps on this game, this is by far the worst circuit for me. Really heavy traction zones, and whether it's the setup or my lines or braking, whatever it is, I've never got on with this circuit, and I just don't like driving it. It's not really that fun for me, but we're going to give it our best go in qualifying. Not too great. We're currently down on our first abandoned lap as we pick it up through the second sector, but yeah, I'm just unable to hit apexes. The car just drifts out wide, the rear end wants to step out, and yeah, it's not good. It's not good for me. Also, it doesn't help that the AI seem to be absolute magicians when it comes to this long right-hander towards the back straight, because I just cannot seem to get the power down anywhere near as early as them. But we're going to make the best of it. We're currently up 4.8 seconds, obviously, on our abandoned lap. We're just going to give it our all. A little bit of lift and coast into this heavy braking zone, cut over the apex slightly, get the power down. And also, for some reason, this final corner is just one I could never really get right, which is not ideal. But of course, we crossed the line and lost. No surprise there. But it's the only sprint qualifying, still plenty of time to improve. And as you can see from the standings here, absolutely miles off the pace. No real surprise going into it, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can do any better in the sprint.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Leclerc, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen, Antonelli, Albon, Hadjar, and Carlos Sainz, Gasly, Behrman, Esteban Ocon, and Colapinto, Hulkenberg, Perez, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Fernando Alonso, Lawson, Lindblad, Bottas, and Richards. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Now, I know this isn't where we wanted to start this race, but given we're back here at the back of the grid, it means there's an opportunity to move forward. I've seen you karting back in the day. Let's go and do it again.
So going into the race strategy now, obviously sprint race, so shouldn't be any pit stops, either medium or hard. We decide to go with the mediums. We go neutral on the fuel because I didn't do the practice programs, and I'll be able to tell by the end of this race what the sort of fuel load should be for the race, but we're going to give it our best go. And 5 red lights, and away we go for the Chinese sprint race. Not a bad start for us. We're just going to try and take it slightly easy into turn 1, hug the inside to see if we can sneak past a load of cars here. Really good. Almost getting a track limits warning there on the grass, but we just hold it around the outside, try and get the power down. As you can see, the AI just absolutely pull away from me in these traction zones, but we managed to get up to 17th, so really good start. We flirt down the inside of Gabriel Bortoleto and get the job done, which is a good move. 16th place, nice start. Now, I have no real expectations for this one, but if we can just keep up with the cars ahead, then absolute great stuff. As you can see, Perez and Ocon side by side through the double left-hander. Ocon slightly goes out wide, and oh my god, Colapinto making it 3 wide down into the tight left-hander. We have to swerve out the way so we don't make contact and slow down so we don't rear-end him. But as you can see, the traction that the AI get off this long right-hander is just so much better than myself, even though Perez and Ocon were side by side through there. Now we drain the battery, pull into the slipstream of Sergio Perez. We pull back out to the outside. Nice little lift and coast into here and just hold it round the outside. Lovely move on the Cadillac there, up into 15th place. Ocon and Colapinto still side by side, and Colapinto finally gets the job done. But we're not done. We're getting the battery on early. We feint to the inside and we go to the outside of Colapinto where there's no room, and we break our front wing. Simulation damage absolutely screwing us right there, but look, it's our own fault. If we were going to make the move, we should have just committed to the inside nice and early and not tried nothing around the outside, but that's going to make this race really difficult now. Already hate this track, and now with half a front wing, it's not going to be good. Moving on to later in the lap now, and as you can see, the front wing damage is really not doing us any favours at the moment. Coming onto the back straight, Ocon and Colapinto have absolutely walked away from us, leaving us exposed to Perez and Liam Lawson. Actually going side by side right now as we lift off nice and early into this. But Lawson absolutely lunges it down the inside and gets the place, but we hold it. Can we keep the position? Can we? Yes, we can. Give him a little squeeze to the outside there. No overtake mode this lap though, and Lawson is still looking very keen. We cover the inside slightly, but we hold the position. But we go deep into turn 1. The front wing damage really screwing us right now. Lawson makes it through. Bortoleto trying it around the outside. And we're trying to get the power down as early as possible, but the car just drifting out wide and we squeeze Bortoleto onto the curb. Probably a little bit naughty from ourselves, but we're just really suffering in the early stages of this sprint race, and not really much I can do at the moment apart from just be absolutely swamped by every single car. As we get a yellow flag, quickly turns to green, but Fernando Alonso is out of the session, our teammate retiring on lap 3 of this Chinese sprint race. Really not a good day for Aston Martin so far. So moving on to the back straight now, and Gabriel Bortoletti absolutely lining us up here. We burn a little bit of battery at the start, but we turn it off pretty quickly as there's no real point in defending this. And yellow flag. As we get tapped in the rear, there's a massive pile up, and Oliver Bearman is stranded in the middle of the track.
Let's straight to the pit lane, please.
And as you can see from the replay camera here, Oliver Bearman, he goes into the hairpin and he puts the power down and he just absolutely loses the back end. Goes into a half spin and just doesn't move out of the way. And as you can see, everyone just piles up and we sneak around the outside. But crazy start to this race. Really good for us because this means we can change our front wing that we damaged on lap 2. So good stuff. And as you can see, the team want us to go on to mediums, but with only 4 laps left, we're going to take the softs and see if we can salvage something from this race now. Been given a chance. And now for the second time today, we've got 5 red lights and lights out and away we go. And a much better start this time. We instantly go past Bottas and Liam Lawson. And again, we're going to try and hug the inside. See if we can pick up multiple places. As we do, we go from 16th at the start of turn 1. Currently 12, we hold it round the outside. We've got red proximity arrows going absolutely everywhere. We get a decent exit off this corner actually. We're up to 11th place. Oh my god. Crazy start. And we sneak up the inside of Ollie Bearman again. So P10, absolutely insane safety car. Or red flag restart, I should say. But yeah. Much better start to this this resumption of the sprint race, if you like. And yeah, now we actually have something to fight for. I know we don't get points here, but being in 10th is much better than being down in 16th, 17th place with no front wing. So yeah, really good stuff, guys. Yet again though, as we move on to the back straight, all the cars around us are on medium tyres and we still can't get the power down as early as them on the traction zone. But we deploy the battery in hopes of maybe gaining 1 or 2 places. Isaac Hadjar going for it on Alex Albon now. Pretty comfortable from behind, no need to worry there. But as we slightly cut that corner, lucky not to get a warning really. But yeah, and I think it's time to settle down in this race now and see if we can magic some more places. So moving on to the end of lap 7, start of lap 8, and the cars in front have absolutely just pulled away from us because we have absolutely no pace in this one. Oliver Bearman all over our rear end as we go deep into turn 1 again. No wing damage this time, so absolutely 100% on me. And Bearman absolutely gets the place. Good stuff from him. Little tap in the rear end from us, but yeah, we just have no confidence around this track, no traction, no nothing really. We're just a sitting duck in most of these areas, but still going to give it our best and see if we can stay with him. Moving on to the back straight again now, and Bearman's absolutely gone. There's absolutely nowhere we're going to be keeping up with him. We've got the battery on, looking to defend from Esteban Ocon as we sort of slightly move to the inside to try and deter him, but he sticks his nose in there anyway. We go slightly deep to not chop off his front wing and we hold the position nicely. We actually stay in the overtake of Oliver Bearman, so not a bad end to the lap there. At least we'll have some boost to try and defend on the back straight again this lap. As we go into turn 1, we drift wide again. We just can't hit our apexes. And Esteban Ocon sneaks down the inside. He tries to hold it around the outside, but we get the power down semi-nicely there, and we keep him at bay for now. Moving on to the back straight again, and Oliver Bearman's gone this time. Absolutely no chance of catching him. As we pull really aggressively to the inside to try and defend from Esteban Ocon, we're draining our battery. We're going to force him to the outside this time. little bit of lifting coast and just spot the braking. A bit of front wing actually towards the outside of the track there. As Ocon goes for the switchback, he put the battery on slightly, but we managed to hold the position. And that's George Russell in the pits, going on to the last lap of the sprint
Russell
race.
is
So it
in
must
the
be his
pits.
front wing
Okay, mate,
in that
this is the final lap
penultimate
of the race.
corner.
Final lap.
As Ocon goes around the outside of turn one. Oh my God, what a move from the Haas driver so far, but we hold it on the inside, which switches to the outside for the next corner. And Esteban Ocon is still there. Can we get the traction down? Yes, we can, but nowhere near as good as the Haas driver. So we put the battery on. We're going to go for a little lunge down the inside. Yes, we are. We get it stopped just. So currently P10 now with George Russell pitting for a new front wing. So very up and down this sprint race. Very up and down. Done a lot better than I thought we would. Obviously, red flag helping us out a lot, especially with the tyres, because tyre wear around here is just an absolute joke.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trading the car
And now it's
ahead
very
by.
important that we get these next
3.7
few
seconds.
corners right if we want any chance of holding off Esteban Ocon on this final lap. We try and get the power down early. The car's wanting to squirm, but we get the battery on nice and early, pull straight to the inside again. And we're just waiting for Ocon to make his move. The battery's still on. We pull to the outside this time. And Ocon goes straight down the inside, but we hold it. We brake slightly later. More cars behind us now trying to sneak their nose in, but by the looks of it, we are going to keep P10 on this final lap. So all things considered, not a bad sprint race.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Well, that's an end
So
to the
Lando
sprint
Norris
action.
takes the
Next up,
sprint
we'll set the
victory
grid for
out
the
here in
Grand Prix.
China.
So we'll see you next
Good
time.
race for us. Not going to complain with that too much considering how it started, but definitely room for improvement when it comes to my driving. But if you offered me this result in the race tomorrow, then I'd snap your hand off. Now moving into qualifying for the main race, and like before our first lap, we actually invalidated, so backed off, regained the tyres and the battery, and we're going for our first major push lap here in qualifying. Not setting the world alight, not gonna lie, but definitely better than sprint qualifying, as we absolutely butcher the final corner, and we move into P19, so slight improvement. But then we go out again and it actually starts raining, which I didn't see on the thing. Probably my fault, but anyways, so I mean, halfway through turn one, we're already 2 tenths down and it only gets worse from here. So looks like only one lap in this qualifying, which is pretty disappointing, but got no one to blame but myself. At least we won't be last because Hulkenberg obviously didn't manage to improve on his time before it got wet either. So I guess it's P21 for the Grand Prix on Sunday. So yeah, another pretty disappointing qualifying session there for us. But as you can see, Fernando Alonso makes it into Q2, so great stuff for him. But without further ado, let's get into the race.
The Chinese Grand Prix, then, is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Norris, Albon, Sainz, Gasly and Isaac Hadjar, Alonso, Lawson, Ollie Behrman and Colapinto, Bottas, Antonelli, Arvid Lindblad and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Bortoletto, Richards and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Fernando Alonso ending up in P11. Wow, what a great session from the Spaniard, showing his absolute class there. Now looking into the strategy for the main race, it's showing either a 2 or a 3 stop, most likely going to be a 2 stop due to the high tyre wear around here, but we are definitely not going to start on the soft tyres because they are absolutely dreadful. But yeah, hoping to pick up some places early at the start again and just see where we go. Absolutely no expectations for this race again, but of course we're going to do our best, so let's get into the race. So P21 on the grid now, slightly better starting position than the sprint, but we have 5 red lights and away we go for the main race here in China. Decent start here again. We're going down the inside of turn 1 again because it works so well for us in the sprint race, and look at all the cars we're overtaking. Fernando Alonso not losing any places at the start, great stuff, and we actually end up behind him, which just shows what an amazing start we've had now. Oliver Behrman pips us on the inside, but we get him back straight away. We have a think about going down the inside of our teammate, but as he's on the soft tyres, we think, nah, let's see what Fernando can do for a few laps and we'll go from there. But yeah, very good start to this race. In a really good position now, not just myself, but my teammate. So positive start here from Aston. Now moving towards the end of lap 3, going onto the back straight now. By the looks of it, Alonso's tyres are starting to fade a little bit. He's dropped behind from Pierre Gasly, and we're obviously coming under pressure from the cars behind. So we decide to drain the battery, get into Fernando's slipstream, and we go and lunge it around the outside. Decent move from ourselves. We need to get the traction down though, and we do. We have better tyres at this stage now, and yeah, dispatch our teammate cleanly, and we don't lose too much time. So now we need to see if we can try and pull up to the back of Pierre and
Yellow flag.
progress in this race. We have a yellow flag. And it's Oscar Piastri who's just pulled to the inside there. It looks like his engine has given up on him. And that moves us into a points paying position yet again in this Aston Martin. And our teammate down in 11th. So things are just looking up now for us compared to the start of the weekend. Yeah, things are going great so far, guys. Moving on to the start of lap 5 now, and Colapinto's past Alonso as we lose the back end coming out of turn 2. And Franco picks up another position. But we're going to go down the inside again and absolutely misjudge our braking and just wash way off the track, and Colapinto picks up the place again. So we have now lost the 1 championship point. Same lap now, moving on to the back straight, and we're absolutely burning the battery trying to regain the place on Colapinto, but Oliver Behrman overtakes our teammate behind as we lose the back end slightly under braking at the hairpin. But yeah, we're just looking to see if we can get past Colapinto and maybe hold him up a little bit more. I doubt that we're going to get anything better than 10th position today, but we've got the battery on down the main straight. His red light is flashing. We hold it as to not run into the back of him again. But the inside line is the way to go around here, so you pick him off nicely. Just need a good exit from this corner, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Towards the end of lap 6 now, coming onto the back straight, and Kimi Antonelli has been clawing his way through the field slow and steady, but we're not really going to stand much of a chance here. We burn a little bit of battery just to see if we can stay ahead, but we're not going to fight this one too much initially, are we? No, we end up fighting a bit too much, going deep into the corner and getting our first track limits warning. Not ideal from us here, but at least we'll have the boost for the next lap, but no more points for us at the moment. But are we going to come back on Antonelli? We feint to the inside, we try and go to the outside again. Not quite making contact this time, but we just wash out way too wide, which leaves the door open for Oliver Behrman as he goes down the inside, but not quite enough room for him this time. And we get a semi-decent exit, a little bit squirrely on the exit, but a little burst of the battery, and we managed to stay ahead for now. Halfway through lap 10 now, and the tyres are really starting to go off. Not much happened in the last few laps, but everyone in front of us has just pulled away, and we're holding up the train as we got a second track limit warning, which is not ideal on lap 10 of the Grand Prix. We have to be really careful now. But moving on to the back straight, we try and get the battery on early. We are just confirming that we are going to box this lap, so we don't mind wasting a bit more of the battery. And yellow flag again down into the hairpin, but no Oliver Behrman blocking the track this time. And we hold off Liam Lawson, Arvid Lindblad out of the session. So 2 retirements already as we pull into the pit lane. Try not to abuse track limits too much, but we get it slowed down and into the pits we go. Can it be a good stop from the boys? .4, yeah, good stop from the boys there. Not sure if we're going to be racing on exit. Doesn't look like it. We are going to drop down to P20 and last place now. So outlap is key here. Need to warm the tyres up nice and quickly and get ready to undercut some of the other people that are going to box slightly later than us. Coming towards the end of lap 11 now, and people are starting to make their first stop of the race. We've caught up slightly to Oliver Behrman actually, and Esteban Ocon
no need to worry about the tyre conditions for now. Everything's looking good.
Semi-decent outlap here on this stint. Closing Oliver Behrman down. As we come out of turn 2, the safety car is deployed, and the red flag yet again. So the second red flag of the weekend, guys. And if we had just stopped a lap later, we could have been in a much better position. But that's the name of the game. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So we got to take this one on the chin. And now this is where it starts to go downhill for us even more, because as you may know, playing the F1 26 DLC, there are a fair few glitches, and one of them is the tyre selection screen on a red flag restart. So as you can see on screen, I'm trying to select the hard tyres as tyres to be on at the restart, but it keeps throwing up random stints, and I think I'm just getting frustrated right now. Obviously, stint 3 there says mediums, but on the screen it's showing that I'm going to be on the hards, so I confirm it and we are on the mediums. And of course it's not fresh mediums, is it? It's going to be the worn mediums that we literally replaced a few laps ago. So terrible start as expected on 80% worn tyres. We actually go for the outside this time instead of the inside, just to try and not cause any collisions with anyone. We're obviously going to box on this first lap here, but yeah, this has basically ruined our race. So yeah, unfortunate. Probably partly my mistake, but then also, the game should, not be doing this as we go for an audacious lunge up the inside of Nico Hülkenberg. But yeah, not good, guys. And yeah, we're going to come in the end of this lap and box. Just before we do, though, on the back straight, we see Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso actually going side by side. So We try and give Alonso a little bit of slipstream and box Pierre in so we can help our teammate out, and it works beautifully. Fernando slips down the inside of us both and gets P16 as we box to get these horrible worn mediums, and as we nearly do a Lewis Hamilton from 2007, if you're old enough to remember that one. But yeah, this is our race ruined now, and we're just going to see what happens. See if we get another safety car, maybe even another red flag. I mean, you never know, seeing what's happened already in this weekend. But yeah, basically a practice session now, guys. So yeah, unfortunate. Moving on to the end of lap 16, start lap 17 now, and Isaac Hadjar is actually boxed.
Nice work.
So
you smashed it. Really
we're no longer
last,
target,
mate.
Which is a positive, but as he's on the soft tyres, I can't see us holding that position for much longer. And as you can see on the end of lap 17, he's already caught up to the back of us. So this is going to be a pretty standard, easy move for himself. He doesn't even need the straight in the braking zone. He's already alongside during the long right-hander. Our traction just nowhere near as good as the Red Bull on them soft tyres. So we turn the battery off and we let him go. Try not to lose any more time in this race. Moving on towards the end of lap 18 now, and there's a yellow flag in turn 1.
Okay,
safety car is out.
Oh safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace.
Okay, so we actually have a chance to get something out of this race again now, as Isaac Hadjar pulls into the pits.
Slow down.
I was thinking about stopping, but
you're going too fast.
You know, we would have to pass the safety car this lap anyway. So if I was going to box, I'd do it this lap now. But yeah, crazy. I didn't end up boxing and chose to favour a little bit of track position because these tyres are not bad, and it depended on, well, I could put the mediums or the softs on, they'll be dead before the end of the race. So we managed to pick up a few places on track, and we skipped towards the end of lap 21, and the safety car is coming in behind Nico Hulkenberg again. And like I said earlier, we're not really expecting anything from this race, so if we can pick up any more places, then that's great. The leaders actually go quite early, so which is good for us. We get the boost on as early as possible, straight line mode. And Hulkenberg's flashing already, so he pulls to the inside. He doesn't quite chop us up, but we brake nicely and we just hold the inside to get past the German. So good restart, 16th place. See if we can go from here. Coming onto the back straight now on lap 22, and everyone ahead of us has absolutely walked away from us. Draining the battery, Esteban Ocon and Nico Hulkenberg fighting behind us. We go into the braking zone, we get on the curb and we lock up, so we go really deep. 2 drivers on our inside, we get the traction down, and
wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
We just hook onto Esteban Ocon, and that is our race done, guys. A really, really poor race. Good points and bad points, but as you can see, we just drag on Ocon. We're trying to turn left, but Ocon's having none of it, and simulation damage. We end up in the barriers, and yeah.
Here's the checkered flag, and here's our race winner today. What a smooth operation it was for Carlos Sainz.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
Only 3 can take to the podium, and here they come. And it's Carlos Sainz who makes his way to the top step of the podium. What a day, what a victory.
Wow. Absolutely crazy scenes here as Carlos Sainz wins the Chinese Grand Prix for Williams by just over 1/10 of a second from Lando Norris. Wow, that was very unexpected, but yeah, he obviously got in front on track and managed to stay ahead. Fernando Alonso finishing just outside the points for Aston Martin. Yeah, definitely a weekend to forget for myself, but it's about these learning experiences. Still a very inexperienced driver, and we need to learn from these mistakes. So, yeah, still 1 point for Aston Martin in the championship, and 1 point for myself, obviously. 9th in the Constructors' Championship, and yeah, all round a weekend to forget for us. And that's going to be it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for the second round of the season here in China. If you want to see another one of my videos, I will leave a link on screen. Please check it out. And yeah, Japanese Grand Prix next. Much better track for myself, so we're expecting better things. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a good evening and cheers.